So this is a quilt I designed very early on in my quilting adventure. And just to show you, this is before I knew that there was a difference in fabrics, so I just bought whatever, wherever. And let me show you the difference between a good fabric and a not so great fabric. So these blacks, over time, they will fade, but this has only been washed maybe a couple of times. So, and this is what happened. So normally I can't force myself to make a quilt over, but I'm kind of looking forward to doing this in some better fabrics. We are using Paintbrush Studios. Excellent fabrics, wonderful drape, good stitch or thread count on them, but still it's a pretty quilt, but we're going to make it better. And so we're going to do one of these blocks every week. The pattern will be available on YouTube. The video will be available on YouTube. The pattern will be on the Quilters HQ Make It So group on Facebook. So if you're not a member of that, go ahead and join. That's where you'll get the pattern for it. And so the other thing that I'm going to do differently on this with you is each block is going to be a different color. So Paintbrush Studios has, I think it's 168 different colors. We're going to pick out some really bold ones and go with them. First one is going to be purple. The kit is going to be $5, and you're going to get 2 fat eighths of the black, and, or no, 2 fat eighths, 1 black, and 1 purple for this month. So if you want to participate, Chloe, where are you going to put the pattern today?
It's in the Facebook group.
It's in the Facebook group for Make It So.
Yes.
On the Quilters HQ.
And I just linked it in the comments again.
And it's linked in the comments. So that's where you'll get the pattern. So let's go over here and I'll show you the pattern. So in the pattern, you'll have rotary cutting instructions here, but I've also included AccuQuilt cutting. So for example, this one is AccuQuilt die number 1 or 55106 from the 6-inch cube. Now I said that most of these were going to take the 6-inch cube. Some of them are going to take the 9-inch cube as well. So this is what the pattern looks like and what you'll get. And then you'll have the video to refer back to each month. And so the tools that I'm using, so I'm just going to rotary cut this. This is 3.5-inch squares, so we're going to zip right through it. I'm using the Quilter Select ruler, rotary cutter, my favorite scissors, and again my favorite thread. This is aluminum. It's color number 2615 if you want one of these.
Aerofill.
Aerofill. It's 100% cotton. It's 50 weight. Disappears in your quilting. I think the quilt behind us is quilted in that, and you really can't see it. In quilting, I use it for piecing because it works with all colors including black and white. So 2615, comment Make It Mine. If you're in the club, you get a discount on it. And then of course the
Carla asked how much fabric for the background.
The background total. I will get the fabric requirements and post them for you because I don't know right off the top of my head. I don't remember. But so
we'll check on that, Kathy. Sorry about that.
And then I'm using the TL18 because nothing beats a straight stitch machine when you are piecing. So our first block is 3 patches of black for 3.5 inches and 6 patches of the purple, and I'm going to cut both of them at the same time right here. And you will have a little bit of leftover with these. Save them for another project. And then I'm going to bring this over. I think I just cut my black wrong. How far? Yep, I'm going to cut it again. I thought I had it laid out, but I didn't. It's live, folks. Anything can happen.
Earlier we had a request to talk about how the AccuQuilt Club works when we have a second. We
Okay.
want to talk about it.
Finish the 3.5-inch squares. And I'm going to cut extra just because I can always trim it down later and use it in something else. But while I'm cutting, this just makes it easy. So you need 6 of the purple and 3 of the black.
People are excited to do the quilt.
I'm
I
excited
think it's going to be
too.
really fun.
There's 2. There's my 3 black, 4, and 6. So for piecing, I'm just going to sew the 2. I'm going to chain piece these. I'm going to sew black, 2 black, and then 2 purple. So I'm going to start with the 2 purple because that makes it easy. I didn't mention it, but I have from Juki a magnet that is a seam guide. And so I'm just going to slide my fabric right up next to it. And it helps me sew straight and fast. Oh, somebody's got it on slow mode. There we go.
Hey, Mary, welcome.
So that's the first portion. So I'm going to cut. I don't know if you ever do this, but I sometimes use my little trimmer as a cutter to take these apart. So my next one, so if we're looking at the pattern, so I have the 2 purple together. So that gets a black piece. This is going to go so fast. And then my next row is purple, black, purple. So here. And then third row is 2 purple together. And then we're going to turn right here and iron these seams.
Hi, Nina. Happy Thanksgiving.
Now, because normally on a 9 patch you have, and that's what this is a 9 patch. So normally you have, and see how it creates that line, you press your seams in one direction and then another, but I'm going to press these all in one direction.
So why would you do it that way?
Well, we want our seams to nest, and since we're not piecing a whole bunch of 9 patches, we don't really have to worry about if our seams are going the right way. Plus, there's a sashing in this quilt, so you don't have to worry about matching up seams to another block, which is always very handy. I like sashings and...
So we had a viewer question, which I think is a really good one. How do you know on a solid what's the front or the back of a fabric?
Well, usually the way it's folded But with these Paintbrush Studios, I think this is a back and this is a front, so it's a little bit of variation. With these solids, they're heavily saturated, the colors. So the only way you really truly know is when it comes off the bolt. So with the Paintbrush Studios, it's one of the reasons why I'm a big fan. You can switch and rotate and it will be fine. So your colors will be good. So
if you were looking at it coming off the bolt, would the top be the back, or is that how it's wound?
nope, the outside. So if you can find the fold from when you picked it up at the fabric store, the outside is the top.
Okay. Good tip.
And then one more and this way. Okay. And there's our blocks. So we're just going to go sew these together real quick. And I'm just going to stack them like this so that I keep them in order.
When will the kits be shipped?
Everything ordered today will ship on Friday because we have a short day tomorrow and everybody's off for the holiday. So just checking to make sure my seams are nesting, and they are. So these two together like this. Something happens to me sometimes when I go from the layout to the sewing machine that stuff gets turned around. Does that happen to you too?
Beverly want to know how much the kits are.
The kits are $5.
$5. Hi, Gwen. Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay. Slow down just a little bit going over that seam because I don't want it to turn on me. I'm going to make sure my next seam is nested well. Come back to my block to make sure that I'm still going the right direction. I am. So I'm just going to spin it around and sew it this way. It is easier sewing your blocks together, and what I'm really doing is making sure my first piece right here is nested really well. I'm doing that more than lining up here because I want my seam to match. It's more important that it matches than it does up here. If I didn't cut straight or there's a little excess on one side, this will be hidden in the seam. This will be really obvious. Okay.
Charlotte's really excited. Will the kits be available tomorrow?
They're not going to be available tomorrow.
Is that who I think it is?
Is that Charlotte Bradford?
Yes.
Okay.
She's ready to go.
She wants to come in and cut package.
Yep, Charlotte, you can come in and help cut. So
Charlotte, come on in.
I've already got 3 of them made.
Oh, well, maybe you're going to be in luck then.
So 3 of them are already made. This is what you'll be getting. And the pattern you'll get online.
She said, yep.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow then.
We always take volunteers.
Okay, one
Joan, I
final.
have a question for you.
Okay.
Have you considered writing a tell-all book of Joan's favorite tips for quilting?
You know, that would be a
intention
really
with
good
the tell-all,
idea.
didn't
I
I?
just need somebody to follow me around and write this stuff down because
Can't you just talk on your phone on the recording part?
I could.
It's like the chefs. What'd you put in there? Oh, I just put a pinch of this and a pinch of that and a little bit of salt. And,
Yeah.
what was the recipe? I don't know what the recipe was.
I don't know.
I cook like that too.
I've made it so many times. I
Yep.
don't even think about it.
So I'm going to give this a little blast of steam, but this has been sitting for a minute, so there's condensation in my cord. So there we go. So it doesn't. And you say, but you never steam your blocks because they shrink. This is a dry steam. And look how flat it lays. That's so awesome. No starch, no nothing. Just a really flat block. So there's block number 1.
Okay. Wow.
So it kind of looks like that. It looks like this in the quilt. So it creates this kind of box.
And we'll show the quilt again here real quick.
Yeah.
So.
See how easy that was? It was like, what, 5 minutes cutting and everything.